Hello friends. The lit teacher here. Let's understand an English literature lesson today. The Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock is a modernist poem written by T.S. Eliot and published in 1915. It is regarded as one of the most significant works of 20th century literature. The poem presents the inner thoughts and anxieties of its protagonist, J. Alfred Prufrock, as he contemplates his life and his inability to act on his desires. The poem is written in the form of a dramatic monologue, in which Prufrock addresses an unnamed listener. The opening lines set a mood of hesitation and self-doubt, as Prufrock ponders whether he should disturb the universe by expressing his thoughts and desires. Throughout the poem, Prufrock exhibits a sense of alienation and social anxiety, constantly questioning himself and fearing rejection. Prufrock reflects on his physical appearance, feeling self-conscious about his balding head and thinning hair. He is acutely aware of his age and sees himself as an aging, unremarkable figure in society. He also explores themes of time, regret, and the passing of opportunities, contemplating whether it is worth taking action in the face of inevitable mortality. The poem is filled with vivid imagery and rich symbolism. It takes the reader on a fragmented journey through Prufrock's mind, as he references various historical, literary, and cultural allusions. These allusions serve to highlight Prufrock's feelings of inadequacy and his sense of being out of place in the modern world. In the final section of the poem, Prufrock imagines a scene where he declares his love to the listener, but it remains a mere fantasy. He is trapped in his own insecurities and is unable to break free from his internal prison. The poem ends with the haunting repetition of the phrase, "I have heard the mermaids singing, each to each," suggesting the allure of something unattainable and the elusive nature of happiness. The Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock captures the disillusionment and alienation of the modern individual, torn between desires and fears, unable to fully engage with life. It explores themes of self-doubt, the passage of time, and the human condition, making it a powerful and enduring piece of literary work. Let me explain the poem in detail for you. Please find the poem on the screen. Let's begin. If I believed my response was directed towards someone destined to return to earth, this flame would remain motionless. However, given that, if the rumors hold true, none have ever returned alive from this abyss, I can reply without concern for shame. Let us proceed, then, you and I, when the night sky stretches out like a patient on an operating table, anesthetized. We shall traverse partially deserted streets, marked by insomnia, budget hotels that host transient guests, and dilapidated eateries. These streets unfold like a tedious argument with malevolent intentions, prompting contemplation of an urgent question, though the nature of it remains unspoken. Let us embark on our visit. Women enter and exit the room, engaging in discourse about Michelangelo. Yellow smoke caresses the windows, rubbing against them and licking the corners of the night with its tongue. It hovers above stagnant water in drains, intermingles with soot from chimneys, slips by the patio, and suddenly leaps, yet, sensing the cool autumn night, curls around the house and dissipates. Indeed, there will be time to observe the yellow smoke gliding along the street, caressing the windows. There will be time to prepare to encounter people, to engage in both creation and destruction, to work and respond to inquiries, time for both of us. And there will be time still for countless hesitations, to change my mind 100 times, all before afternoon tea. Women enter and exit the room, conversing about Michelangelo. Yes, there will be time to ponder, do I dare? And again, do I dare? Time to turn and descend the stairs, preoccupied by the bald spot on the back of my head. People will remark, his hair is truly thinning. Clad in my morning coat, collar buttoned up to my chin, adorned with an elegant yet an ostentatious necktie secured by a simple tie clip. People will observe, his limbs are so slender. Do I possess the courage to alter the world? A single minute contains enough time for decisions and transformations, though I may reconsider a minute later. For I have experienced it all. I've witnessed evenings, mornings, and afternoons, and I could quantify my life by the number of coffee spoons employed. I've heard voices singing in distant chambers. So what grants me the authority? I'm acquainted with the way people regard me, fixing me with a gaze as if I were an insect specimen pinned and wriggling against the wall. So how do I begin to recount the memories of my life, akin to expelling the buttons of a cigarette? And what grants me the right? I already know the nature of women. I've encountered diverse women, those with arms adorned with bracelets and pale, hairless skin, though lamplight reveals a covering of light brown hair. Is it the scent of perfume from a dress distracting my train of thought? I contemplate arms resting on a table, wrapped in a shawl. So what grants me the right? And how do I commence? Should I declare, I've strolled through narrow streets in the evening, observing solitary men leaning out of windows, smoking in their undershirts? I ought to have been a creature with worn-out claws, scurrying across the floors of the silent ocean. As the day progresses, the night itself seems to slumber so tranquilly, it appears as if it has been gently lulled to sleep by elongated fingers. Either asleep or weary, or perhaps merely pretending, sprawled beside us. Should I, post-afternoon tea, possess adequate strength to disrupt this moment and introduce turmoil? I weep, refuse sustenance, and pray, similar to John the Baptist, witnessing my, now slightly bald, head presented on a platter. Yet, I am no holy messenger, and I lack significant insights. There was a time when greatness seemed attainable, but that moment has irrevocably passed. I've seen death's butler hold my coat, laughing at me. To be blunt, I was frightened. And would it have been worthwhile anyway? Following afternoon tea, amid porcelain teacups and casual conversation, would it have been worthwhile to force a smile and broach the ponderings occupying my mind? To compress and simplify this colossal, all-encompassing dilemma into a manageable sphere, akin to a ball, and then roll it toward a question so monumental it defies articulation or comprehension? To say, I am Lazarus, returned from the dead, here to disclose everything, I'll tell you everything? If someone, adjusting her pillow, were to assert, that is not what I meant at all, that is not what I meant, at all. And would it have been worthwhile anyway? Would it have been worthwhile, considering all I've witnessed in life, the sunsets, the dooryards, and the streets adorned with rain? Would it have been worthwhile after the novels, the teacups, the skirts grazing the floor, and all of this, and so much more? I am unable to articulate what I desire. But if a magic lantern could take my anxious thoughts and project them onto a screen, forming words, would it have been worthwhile, while adjusting a pillow or removing a shawl, and turning toward the window, to say, that is not it at all, that is not what I meant, at all? No. I am not Prince Hamlet, and it was never my destiny. I am merely a supporting character, a lord trailing the prince, capable of filling a crowd, initiating a scene or two, or offering advice to the prince. Undoubtedly, I am an easily utilized tool, compliant and content to be of service. I am polite, cautious, and meticulous, brimming with words, yet what I express is cryptic and ambiguous. Occasionally, I am ludicrous, sometimes nearly resembling a clown. I am aging. I am aging. I shall commence rolling up the cuffs of my trousers. Should I part my hair differently? Dare I be audacious enough to consume a peach? I shall wear white flannel trousers and stroll along the beach. I have heard the mermaids singing to each other. I doubt those mermaids will sing to me. I have witnessed the mermaids riding towards the sea on the waves, the wind agitating the foam and creating a swirl of black and white. We have waited in the rooms beneath the sea, beside mermaids enshrouded in red and brown seaweed, awaiting human voices to rouse us, after which we shall drown. This poem, one of Eliot's earliest major works, was finished around 1910 or 1911 but wasn't published until 1915. It delves into the complex psyche of the archetypal modern man, well-educated, articulate, neurotic, and emotionally restrained. The speaker, Prufrock, appears to be addressing a potential lover, expressing a desire to force the moment to its crisis and consummate their relationship. However, Prufrock's extensive knowledge of life prevents him from daring to approach the woman. In his mind, he hears the critical remarks others make about his shortcomings, and he rebukes himself for presuming that emotional connection could be attainable. The poem transitions from specific, tangible settings, a cityscape and various interiors, to ambiguous oceanic imagery that conveys Prufrock's emotional detachment from the world as he recognizes his second-rate status. Prufrock is notable for its breadth of intellectual allusion and the vivid characterization it achieves.